Okay, so thank you very much for joining us for another episode, Career Profiles with Ebony Tree Council, where we try to highlight outstanding Black professionals. So give our kids something to really aspire for in the future. And today, I have the extreme pleasure of interviewing Miss Courtney Walker. She is a bail disruptor and client advocate for an organization called Bail Project. How are you doing today, Miss Courtney?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to be really cool. A lot of interesting things going on with your organization. So if you would take a moment, please just kind of introduce yourself and talk about where you're working.
Okay, cool. So my name is Courtney Walker, and I am a Bail Disruptor in the Augusta, Georgia area. The Bail Project, we are a nonprofit organization who pay bails for free for those underprivileged individuals. And we keep in contact with our clients. We connect them to resources. And then once they get back to court, they'll have something to show to the judge. And then we get the money back. And then we take that same money, we put it back in the pot, and then we're able to recycle it over and over again. And I'm a bail disruptor because I'm disrupting the system of bail to try to break it down so we can put better programs in place instead of cash bail.
That's very interesting and something that seems like it might be very important to our community because we have a lot of folks that get caught into the justice system, particularly on the bail cycle side, that really need some support sometimes.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of people when they think of they think of mass incarceration, but they don't think of the bail part of it. Like literally bail is like the first step to the door of oppression when it comes to mass incarceration because
Mm-hmm.
you're accused of a crime, but you have to pay this fee to get out to fight your case from home. And if you don't have that money, you sit there and you sit there until your court date. And then you can sit there for like months and then get acquitted for the charge. And then when you get out, you lose everything. Like people literally start from ground zero due to the bail system.
Yeah, it affects your employment opportunities, all kinds of things. And that's part of that institutional racism that people tend to overlook or ignore. But it's a very important part of, how we correct the mass incarceration that we have going on in the United States. So, Miss Courtney, um, what type of experience or schooling did you have to prepare you for working at the Bail Project?
Um, it's a combination of life
Mhm.
and going to college, to be honest with you. Like growing up, like I grew up, with my people. And,
Mhm.
we dealt with things as, a community and stuff like that. So as I grew up, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a nurse. I actually almost flunked out of college because I was trying so hard to be that nurse that I wanted to be. But I ended up trying to take a class in criminal justice, and then I fell in love, and then my grades shot up and everything was just made right. And then I was able to finally put a name to the stuff that I had experienced as a child. When they say like food insecurity, I was like, that's another day in the hood. Like they actually put like scientific names on stuff. And then through that time, I was like coming up with solutions that could have helped my community and the resources that need to be there. So the Bell Project kind of just aligned with that because like when I was in college, I wrote papers about mass incarcerations, issues with Black women, police brutality. Like I've always had a passion for this type of job. So when this job came up, it just everything just led right. It was just I'm here for a reason, and this is my serving my purpose.
That's amazing there. And I like what you said, the passion to purpose is what I heard. But you also said something that was very important that I think that our kids need to hear is that we don't often know what it is we want to do coming out of the gates. Well, it's part of life experiences kind of influence passions that you want to do things in your neighborhood and being able to work in a field that allows you to correct some of the issues that you saw in your neighborhood, we think is very important for young kids to always have that focus in the back of their mind, not to abandon where they came from, but figure out how to make themselves better so they can make the community better. So I really appreciate you bringing that out. That's pretty awesome, man.
Because I tell people, I used to keep that a secret. Like I almost flunked out of college, but I wear it as proud because like I was trying so hard to be that nurse, but that wasn't what I was meant to do. Like I thought I was gonna be a nurse. I thought I was gonna be at the hospital, and I'm like, no, girl, you're gonna be on the streets like a mini activist fighting for change. And
Yes,
I'll take
yes,
that.
that's beautiful. And that's important for people to hear too, because you may not go down the path that's originally intended for you, because our environment influences our choices and decisions, and it may have been somebody in our background that said you should be this or you should be that, and when kids graduate high school they grab onto that and end up being frustrated sometimes with their choices and their career choices, and that's when real life takes place and you start to try to redirect your path to what's really important to you. So that's not uncommon for people to switch career focused majors in college at least 2 to 3 times, from what I understand.
Yeah, like it's okay to change and change your mind and try something different.
Mm-hmm. So, Ms. Courtney, what's the work culture like at Bail Project?
Um, the work culture, basically I wake up and I'll be like, oh, I'm doing this today, and then I don't end up doing most of that stuff, like because it's like you just never know where you're needed. Like my day entails of like waking up. I go to the jail, to interview my clients and stuff like that, and I talk to their lawyers, the PDs, look at their history, look at their needs and stuff like that, and to make an assessment on like if we can help them or not. And then once we do that, once we post the bail and stuff like that, I go to court with my clients. So I am in court, and I do sometimes have to speak to the judge. So the culture is like laid back because I add the compassion
Mm-hmm.
to I add compassion back to the system that's trying to mainly punish people.
Right.
I'm the mom, the sister, the counselor. It's very laid back. I come to court, dressed up, but I'm the mom. I make sure that they're okay. And, my presence there makes them comfortable. The judge see that we're there. So they're like, oh, the Bail Project is watching over this person. Let me pay attention to this client.
So it gives a little bit of a credibility to the client in the courtroom.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful. So I heard you say some really important characteristics and attributes for working in your field there. But I'm going to ask instead, what characteristics do you present that make you effective at your job?
I feel like within the last 2 years of me doing this job, I realized that this job is, I'll say 75% strategic organization and then the 25% heart. The reason why I say that is because I have the heart, but I also have to be mindful of the work that I do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense.
Because like I have the heart for my people, but I also have to make sure because the goal of my organization is to prove a point that we don't need cash bail. And therefore I have to make sure that I'm doing things the proper way while taking care of my clients. So you have to be organized, strategic, creative. You have to be very creative, like figuring out ways to get to clients. You have to figure out ways to help people, and just creativity and strategic and organized. That's like the main things that I use like every single day.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. So strategic, organized, creative, and a heart. And I also heard effective communicator, because you're advocating for clients.
Right.
That's got to be pretty important as well. Was there anything else that you want to add to that?
No, that's about it. Because that's honestly like what I use like every single day. The characteristics of my job that requires my job and stuff like that. And I have my other coworkers. I have my the strong hand. And everything else. But that's what I bring to the table.
Mm-hmm. One thing that always interests me and that we're kind of curious about at Ebony Tree Council is what's the ratio of African American people that take on a social role like what you're doing in kind of criminal justice or social activism type of thing as a profession?
Um, to be honest with you, we do have a lot of Black people in our organization, but
Wonderful.
we do. And most of my coworkers are like activists. Like, you know, a lot of my coworkers are like formerly incarcerated individuals who turned their life around, who whole life is this type of work. So there's a lot of people of color, even Hispanic, Latinos, Asian. You have even have Asian people in our organization doing this type of work. So I say it's a good amount of Black people. Actually, my Atlanta crew,
Mm-hmm.
we're pretty close. The Atlanta team, and they're all strong. We're all strong Black women.
Love it, love it. And we definitely need more strong Black women helping us to get our communities back in order and get us moving forward, because it takes everyone concentrating their effort in the area to make us help us move forward. So what is it that you receive from the benefit of helping other people in your career? For what does it do for you?
um, what does it do for me? The benefit that
Mm-hmm.
I get to bring people home. Like, I can tell you so many stories of so many times when I unite families, or I keep someone from getting evicted, help someone keep a job. Just last week, I united a mom got arrested like right after she had her baby, so
Mm-hmm.
she hadn't seen her baby in like 3 months. So I got to bail her out, and she got to go home. And she, the newborn baby, she hasn't seen that baby in 3 months. So just to see that part, because I feel like with the court system, they just see the charge. They see the charge. They don't really see the human element of that. And I get to see that, and I get to showcase that. And, you know, that makes me feel good because, like I say, I see how hard it is for people out here and to be a part of, to make that different or make that change, to make that connection. That's the benefit that I get out of it, because I'm doing what I'm put on this earth to do. I serve my purpose, and this is my passion, is to help people and get people off off their feet, and show people that there's another way. There's other options, and that's I get to bring people home.
And your passion for it just comes through so clearly and so truly appreciated. And one of the things that I wrote down that you said that was really profound to me was that you get a chance to highlight the human side of the criminal justice systems and connect families. And that is so important, that we never lose sight of, these are people, real people with real problems, making tough decisions that not everybody's equipped to make sometimes, and mistakes happen. But we have be a community of second chance more so than what the justice system allows,
Mm-hmm.
especially for people of color.
Yes. Because a lot of things people don't realize, like how easy it is to get caught up in the system. Like it's amazing to me, like with me doing this 2 years, like a credit card finance charge, you can, it's like, it's easy to get a DUI. Like people don't realize how quickly you can get caught up, and that one moment can just really tear apart a person's life.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's one of the things at ETC that we really want to focus on with our young people, is the ability to make choices and decisions that's right for their lives, as opposed to what's popular, as opposed to what's convenient or easy.
Mm-hmm.
And because, like you said, one innocent choice could change the trajectory of the rest of your life.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be difficult to get back to who you are when you make those choices. So it's such a blessing to have organizations like Bail Project there to help us get that second opportunity at life. That's wonderful. So I'm going to ask right now, and I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Um, But if you had to talk to either your 15-year-old self or your 22-year-old self, pick one of those ages, and what would you tell that person?
Um, I would tell her the motto that I told myself in college that pushed me forward. Like I wish I had that. I wish I had known this before I went to college, like maybe high school. Keep moving forward. Just no matter what. That's something that I always tell my clients. Like no matter what, like if you didn't get that call back from that job, that's okay. Keep moving forward. This didn't happen for you. You didn't get that application for that housing. That's okay. Keep moving forward. And that's something that I internalize even to this day, is just to keep moving forward. Because when you look back, you look at how far you come, and then you're not even in the same position that you were a couple weeks ago or a month ago or years ago, you know? And it's just a beautiful thing. And that's the main thing that I would tell myself, to have heart and to have compassion for myself and give myself grace, because I feel like I'm my own worst critic. And I feel like even to this day, I punish myself in a sense of being hard on myself. But I wish I could have told myself 15 years ago, or, you know, that to be gentle with yourself and to give yourself grace.
Wow, such profound wisdom. How old did you say you were?
Well, 28.
28. Such profound wisdom, and I love it. I love it. Keep moving forward and give yourself grace. I really like both of those. I'm going to jump on this keep moving forward right quick, because one of the things that some people struggle with is it's either all or nothing sometimes. And when you look at life as a big all or nothing, small setbacks will affect you dramatically. Whereas in most cases, for many of us, it's the small incremental process forward that allows you to, like you said, look back and see the progress that you've made. I call it the compounding effect, because you small investments in your growth and progression pays dividends down the line. And you really don't realize it when you're doing it. But when you get down the line and you see where you've come from, you can appreciate and give yourself encouragement to keep going forward again. And many people, myself included, struggle with giving ourselves grace. You know, it comes from the environment. It comes from being wrapped around our own thoughts, and that's one of the things that we want to focus on too. Is teaching people to love themselves, respect themselves, mind, body, and spirit, and be gentle. I love that, and I wrote that down. Courtney's phrase: "Be gentle with yourself."
Yeah.
So that's going to go in the books right there. Courtney's phrase: "Be gentle with yourself." I love it.
Because like, and then when I meet my clients, like I have to tell them to be gentle with themselves. Like, you're being punished, so be gentle with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something that I tell all my clients. And keep moving forward and give yourself grace. Just forgive yourself and keep moving.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's amazing. So we're getting ready to come around to one or two lightning questions here.
Okay.
And what we try to do is just give you the platform to say some things for the young people, and just if you want to be a little bit open and transparent. So what I would ask is, let's assume that it's 5 years from now and you've achieved all the goals that you set for yourself. You're sitting on top of the world in that position right there.
All right.
So what did you let go of, and what did you embrace in order to achieve your success 5 years from now?
What did I let go of, and what did I achieve?
And what did you embrace?
And what did I embrace? I let go of failure and regret, because like sometimes we're scared to try things due to the fear of failing. But then if you try it and you fail, at least you tried it. You won't have the regret of always wondering what would have happened if you had to try that thing. And that's something that I've been doing lately. It's just like jumping, like even doing this podcast. It's like, let's just do it. Let's go for it. Like that's just been like my whole attitude. Like if I fail, if I stumble, if I say something wrong, then take it as a lesson and keep going. Just keep trying as many things as you can and be as versatile as you can. and try to just, like, I honestly say, be a jack of all trades. Just be flexible, because like my job requires me to be flexible, so I apply that same logic to my life and stuff like that. So I would let go of regret, and I like to say, what I would embrace is, well, if I let go of regret, what would I embrace? I feel like, I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like I would embrace myself, because like, if I let go of the regret, that was what was holding me back. I would embrace myself, because I would finally be the woman who I've always knew that I could be, and that I can show off to the world and be happy with myself and do, I'll just be happy with it. I would
Man,
embrace me. And I know that sounds selfish, but I feel like that's another word that needs to be changed. Like, I feel like it's okay to be selfish, because I'm no good to nobody else if I don't take care of myself.
man, that's such profound wisdom again. And you know what? We actually have a saying here that lift yourself before you lift others. And
Right.
so, in order to be the best you can for other people, you've got to take care of yourself and lift yourself and nurture yourself, get comfortable with yourself, and then you can serve. So there's nothing selfish about that, you know,
Totally.
because the other side of that is, burnout, frustration, all the things that will start to hold you back again. You got to protect your margins and your boundaries. Beautiful. Okay. Last question. And
Okay.
we're going to close the interview with this. And so I would like to give you a few moments to say what you think is important for the young people to hear out there as they journey forward.
What I think is important for young people to hear. One of my favorite singers dropped an album on Friday. Her
Mhm.
name is Nada, and she dropped this album called And Then Life Was Beautiful. And when I listened to that song, it made me realize how beautiful life was. And what I want young people to know, no matter what your circumstances, no matter what you're going through, always take that moment, that step, that pause to reflect in yourself, and to reflect in yourself and internalize that moment of who you are and bring that to the forefront, because life is beautiful. Like, no matter what you're going through, it gets better. As long as you take those moments, those deep breaths, you'll be able to continue to move forward. You'll be able to give yourself grace. You'll be able to let go of the regret. And like I say, like, you'll see like the beauty in yourself and what you do. And that's like the main thing I got. Cause I think about my life and and what I've been through. I lost my mom when I was 8, and losing my dad, that was a very, very low blow to me. Those are like some of the most darkest moments of my life. But through all the pushing myself forward and overcoming that, I still found a reason to smile. I still found a reason to serve. I still life is still beautiful. Life is still beautiful to me.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Courtney Walker, client advocate and supreme Bail Disruptor from the Bail Project. It has been such a treat to talk to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us all the wisdom that you have and things that were very, very important for young people to hear. So I really thank you for that moment. Okay.
Thank you for having me, and I hope that my message helps someone, because like I just really hope that I could reach anybody to hear this. Like, keep going, keep moving forward, give yourself grace, dust yourself off, try again, and just remember life is beautiful. Even in those moments, just look to yourself, because you are beautiful.
There it is. Yes. And speaking of which, part of the program, what we're doing with the profiles is that hopefully some young person will be inspired by your message and be tempted to reach out to you and ask a few more questions.
Okay. I'm down for
All right.
that.
You have a wonderful and amazing and blessed day. Okay.
Okay, you too.
All right.